Imagine a person navigating a vast landscape, carrying a weight that no one else can see. We'll call him the traveler. For years, he lived by a specific, unwritten rule. His sense of value was conditional. He only felt confident when someone else admired him, and he only felt secure when he was certain of their approval. This meant that any moment of criticism or indifference became an existential threat. A single rejection would instantly trigger a spiral of doubt, making him wonder if he was interesting enough or even worthy at all. He had built what we might call an opinion mirror. Look at the center of this diagram. The core identity is being defined entirely by these fragmented shards of glass, each one reflecting a different, erratic beam of external judgment inward. This creates a dangerous dependency. When your identity is built on the shifting reactions of others, you are trapped in a volatile loop that you can never fully control. Maintaining this loop requires an immense amount of daily energy. The traveler was constantly curating his words and his actions, trying to preemptively manage how every person around him perceived his life. This is the frantic labor of people-pleasing. It involves over-explaining every choice and obsessing over whether your intentions have been perfectly understood by everyone you meet. The problem is that the variables are too numerous to manage. Because no two people see the world the same way, trying to satisfy everyone's expectations requires you to become a walking contradiction. People-pleasing is an attempt to govern the uncontrollable. It exhausts the soul without ever actually securing the connection it craves. Eventually, the fatigue becomes too much to ignore. The traveler stops and begins to look back at the data he has collected from a lifetime of trying to be seen. He discovers a paradox. Different people have looked at the exact same version of him and arrived at completely opposite conclusions. One observer saw him as strong, while another saw him as weak. Some admired his ambition, others judged it. To some, he was wise, and to others, he was merely naive. Despite these contradictory reports, his actual character and his output never changed. He was the same person in every interaction. When one object generates wildly different shadows, the distortion comes from the light. Every opinion is filtered through a lens shaped by the observer's history. Watch how this filter, made of internal narratives, warps the shadow. The distortion is from the light source, not the shape. The stories people tell about you are often built from the materials they have on hand, their own memories and biases. These opinions serve as subjective data points that map out the inner landscape of the observer. They tell you how that person sees the world, rather than who you actually are. Understanding the mechanics of the mirror was a start, but the application was a daily practice. The traveler began the slow work of intentionally separating incoming feedback from his core identity. He realized that feedback can be a useful tool for growth. He could listen to a suggestion or learn from a critique, without allowing those words to function as a verdict on his soul. A misunderstanding or a rejection became a localized event, something to be examined rather than a definitive trait of his character. Removing the absolute power of an opinion provides the freedom to remain rooted. You can listen to others, learn what you need, and even disagree without collapsing into self-hatred. This led to a shift in his internal monologue. Instead of wondering what others thought of him, he began to ask, "What do I know to be true about myself?" While public opinion changed with the wind, his own internal truths remained steady. He knew he was trying, he knew he was learning, and he saw his own growth. He realized that if his value was decided by a democratic consensus, his worth would always be at the mercy of the latest poll. Consider the nature of the sun. Its existence and its radiance are inherent. It does not stop shining simply because someone chooses to close their eyes. This leads to the ultimate truth of the journey. Worth is an inherent property. A failure of observation on someone else's part does not diminish your value. It exists entirely independently of their ability to see it.